What is the citizen doing? What's the role of the citizen in the fight against corruption? How much can the citizen contribute to end corruption in Nigeria? Someone told us a story. He's in the studio and he'll tell the story probably. How he's coming back from a journey and at the airport on a Tuesday, a customs officer tells him, "Happy weekend." And those of us that know what happy weekend on a Tuesday means, I rest my case. But to help us look at this and the role the citizen can play in the fight against corruption, in the studio we have Great Imo Jonathan, a Director of Mobilization, Be the Change. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Also here is Olade Ndiario, a social commentator. Thank you for coming.
Nice to be back home.
Okay, he's the one that was told happy weekend on a Tuesday. We're still expecting someone else to join us, Femi Oke, who's a development consultant. They'll be joining us in the course of the programming. But you at home, you can be a part of the conversation. Send us your tweets at sunrisectv, at alera_edu, at neota or send a mail sunrise@channelstv.com. And if the phone lines are open in the course of the conversation, you could put in a call. But keep it short and straight to the point. Let's come back to our discussion. I will now come to you first. I'll begin with him. Be the change. So, in your opinion, let's begin with an assessment of the war against corruption so far. How would you say it's been going?
Well, I can say so far so good. We have not had it this way before. In the times past, we've had several attempts at fighting corruption. It used to be so dramatized on TV. We read them in the newspapers, and thereafter, everything goes quiet. But this time, we can see that there is a serious effort. There is a commitment on the part of government to get results. And getting results means that those who have been found wanting, not only those whose cases are obvious, even so many cases which were not obvious before now, government is beginning to get to the root of the matter. And we can also see that there is a systemic approach to fighting corruption this time. Unlike before, we'll get one arrest and then we'll hear the rest as stories. So we're beginning to trace every detail. For example, the case of Dasuki, we're able to discover that apart from Mr. Dasuki, monies have traveled all the way from here to the UK and back to Nigeria. And we are following the money. And not only that, so many arrests have been made. People have been taken to court. And even the language and the body language of Mr. President shows that he's determined to get to the end of it. And if you compare that to what we have had in the times past, I can say this is quite encouraging. A lot of Nigerians are motivated and they are encouraged to join the fight now because they know that the people at the helm of affairs, they are serious about fighting corruption. That is where our organization comes in. Be the Change organization, which is also known as Warrior Culture Organization. We are also here to begin to give the government and those who are in charge, we begin to give them motivation to say, fight on, we the ordinary citizens are with you. We are in support because we have seen from the onset that you are serious about fighting corruption. And to the extent that an ally of Mr. President, in the person of Jafaro Issa, have been arrested, and is not only making useful statements, he's also returning some money. That means he's even yielding results on the immediate. So imagine that if such a person who is close to Mr. President can be so arrested, can be so questioned, that means we are serious about fighting corruption. In fact, before now, I've known some people who had argued why Mr. President did not appoint Mr. Jafar Issa, who had been a long-time ally of him, and only for me to get to know that if there were any reason for which he was not one of those appointed as minister, maybe this was the case. Mr. President had done a background check on some of the people who are in government with him, and that is also a good point to begin with. If you have found out that those who are around you, those who are supposed to work with you, had dirty records and you refuse to, to carry them along, that's a good point to start with. It gives you the freedom, it gives you the courage to fight on.
Great, Timo. You're really great.
Mr. Rio. Mr. Rio. It's not as if corruption is only in Nigeria. There's corruption everywhere in the world. But what makes ours different is the impunity, the scale. It's like people actually have ambitions to go into politics, to go into higher government, because they want to go there and do corrupt things.
To get their own share.
Yes, it's my turn.
As much as I share...
Just a moment. Some people, therefore, are saying that we need to sort out our systems so that the opportunities do not arise and they're not wide open, the gates are not wide open for corrupt practices.
You see, thank you very much. As much as I share your enthusiasm, unfortunately, I'm not on the same page with you. For all I care, ICPC and EFCC, they are twin jokes. Okay? Yes, and I mean it. I would have expected that by now, some people who are still in the palaces are in the prison yards, serving time. But because the system has been so structured in a way that they will get in, when they get in, they get entrenched, and then they remain there perpetually doing all manner of things. And of course, the judiciary is also not helping matters. Okay? When they take them to court, they have a way of hiring the big wigs, okay, who will either stall the case by bringing some mundane and irrelevant issues up, making it impossible for the trial to continue. It becomes a pain for me because we have a criminal system, there's a new Criminal Justice Administration Act, which has said that when a criminal case is started, it must continue non-stop. But as that being the case, no. Very painfully, the people who are the victims, the people who carry the can, they are the ones that will now go and carry placards. Oh, great has been arrested. It's our brother. Release him. Forgetting that I have never seen an Hausa or Fulani man who stole money in Nigeria and went to Arewa and said, look, gentlemen, I have taken from Nigeria, share this money amongst our Hausa Fulani people. I have not seen an Igbo man who stole Nigeria money and went to Ohanaeze and said, gentlemen, this is what I brought from Nigeria. Share it among our people. No Yoruba man has ever stolen money and went to Afenifere to say, look, I have taken this to our national cake for myself and my brothers. Okay? When they steal for themselves and their families. But because the people, they have been so appropriated, they have been so mentally deranged.
Battered.
They have been battered and wounded and injured, almost beyond redemptions. You see this thing happening left, right, and center. It was painful on Tuesday when that customer was asking me on a Tuesday, was telling me, happy weekend. I was mad and I said, it is you that your Tuesday will become weekend. I had to call him. I was bitter. But to let you know how bad things have gone, I had only hand luggage. I wasn't carrying any load. But it just felt it could fleece me. Unfortunately, I wasn't ready. Let me tell you, look at every corner of Nigeria now. The corruption has percolated so badly that husbands don't even trust wives again. Children don't trust their parents anymore. In offices, it's the same thing. You see qualified people, professional people who have passed through education for years, have certificates and all of that, yet they are busy penny pinching, eating and bringing down organizations which, if they are sustained, their children, their grandchildren will come and work there. In this country, we had Nigeria Airways, we had NNSL, the shipping line. Those people who ate and destroyed those organizations, they denied their future generations, their descendants, the grace to go and work there. These are the issues that I feel very bad about. And for as long as we continue this way, we're not ready. Like he said, the opportunities that open the door for this, there are too many. None of us here that has a traveling passport will tell me that you paid the official fee for your passport. Your driver's license, you didn't pay the official fee.
I did.
I did.
So it's okay, we're on air, you can say that. you must, because you see, they have made the thing so cumbersome that you must go through one agent or somebody, and it keeps going round and round. Even the employment issues in Nigeria, they sell funds for people to seek employment. If I'm gainfully engaged, why would I come and look for a job? And then even at that, they charge people up to 300, 500K to join police, join customs and immigration. Now, when they get in, what do you think they're going to be doing? Ordinary councillor in this country earns more money than the professor. So who wants to go and read and work with professor?
Let's bring in Femi, who's joined us as a development consultant. Mr. Oka, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
You've heard the conversation. We're looking at the fight against corruption, the role of the citizens. He's talked about how they've made let me use his phrase, they made things, you don't use the phrase, they made things difficult, they sell forms, they are constricting the people, and someone actually sent in a tweet, he says, how do you expect me to join the fight against corruption where I see an illiterate, in his words, Tosin Eito says, I see an illiterate chopping money, and me, a jobless graduate. Man, I go do mine. So while they're doing that, what can the citizens do? I mean, the individual citizen who's seeing things, as he said, nobody has ever stolen or, in quote, allegedly stolen money and come out to say, hey, I've stolen this money for me and my community. Let's share it.